Hello, everyone. Welcome to TD Board Gamers. My name is Dave. And today I want to go over some of the new upcoming leadership cards that was dropped in the Falcon article. So there's kind of a new deck style. It works with a tribal and a not. It's kind of tribal and it's not tribal at the same time. So let's take a look. The first card is Flight Squardran. It's a 2-cost support. It's a team card. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Max 1 team card per player. If each of your allies has the aerial trait, increase your ally limit by 1, and this card gains response. After you play an aerial card, exhaust this card, ready an ally you control. So, of course, Falcon, who this card is coming from, does have the aerial trait. Natively built in, so he's a perfect hero for this card. Another good hero would be Angel, Spectrum, who's on the artwork, and then anyone who can gain aerial via a card in their kit would apply as well. So this is the tribal part, as I mentioned earlier. The second card is Hugin Munin, 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points, Aerial, Asgard, Bird. So now, in addition to Aerial, has Asgard and Bird. That's going to be important in a card later on. Response. After Hugin Munin enters play, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it in play, engage with you. Ready 1 character you control for each icon, star, and normal in the minion's boost area. And of course, Sam Wilson can search, you could discard a card from your hand, search your deck in a discard pile for a bird card and add it to your hand. So this would be an option, especially if, say, Red Wing is already out. But in addition to the aerial trait, Hugin Munin has 2 other traits. And so this would actually be a good card for Thor as well, because it's another way to get another minion into play. All right. The third card is Aero, 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack. She got 3 hit points. She's aerial traded, so of course, team building exercise. You can start seeing a pattern here. And she's an agent of Atlas, so this is another trait to keep track of. Hero action: exhaust Aero. Choose a player until the end of the phase. Each aerial character that player controls gets +1 attack. So we've got lots of aerial allies. Next, we have Wingman. It's a 0-cost upgrade. It's a title attached to an aerial ally, max 1 per ally. Interrupt. When another aerial ally would take any amount of consequential damage, exhaust attach ally, prevent 1 of that damage. So an example of a Wingman could be Falcon Joaquin Torres. I picked this mainly because they're a team. But yeah, he costs 4, 1 thwart, 2 attack, aerial champion. So we have yet another trait. His hero response is after Falcon attacks or thwarts, spend an energy resource, ready another champion character you control. So to use his power, you would have to have more champions, and there is another aerial champion that was in the article. So this would count for that, but mainly I threw this in for thematic reasons. And before I show the last new card, the article also had 2 reprints. One of them is the Adam Warlock ally. 3 costs 3, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 3 hit points, Aerial Mystic. After Adam Warlock attacks or thwarts, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If this card printed resource type has strength, remove 3 threat from a scheme, energy, heal 3 damage from an identity, mental, deal 3 damage to an enemy, and wild, choose 1 of the above. And also Cloud9, which is another 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 3 hit points, Aerial Champion. Exhaust Cloud9, choose a player until the end of the phase. Each aerial character that player controls gains +1 thwart. So this is like one that when I had Joaquin Torres earlier, that would help with Cloud9. But yeah, so here's 2 more traits. So what is this all leading up to? Well, it's leading up to the next card. And this is all leading up to this card here, Strength and Diversity. It costs 2 per player. It's an event, it's an alliance, hero action. For each different trait on friendly characters in play, choose. Remove 1 threat from a scheme, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So, as we saw, all those allies had Aerial, but they also had a bunch of other traits. This works very similar to Maria's All-Point Bulletin, which was a 2-cost event. For each shield support you control, choose, remove 1 threat from a scheme, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So this is Falcon's version of All Points Bulletin, dealing with the different traits. And in multiplayer, there could be multiple traits going on, kind of like the artwork that shows Falcon, who's an Avenger, Silk, who's a Web Warrior, and Maria, who's a Shield. So you've got that. But if you're going with this aerial swarm, basically, then you've got this card can get even stronger. Okay, so let's count the traits. So for this example, we're going to assume a Falcon deck since this card came with Falcon. So first of all, your hero, Falcon himself, has got 2 traits, Aerial and Avenger. So right now the count is 2. So of course, with a Falcon deck, you would have Red Wing, who's Aerial, Avenger, Bird. Well, Aerial and Avenger we've already counted, but Bird is a new trait. So that would bring the count up to 3. Then we have Hugin Munin, which is Aerial, Asgard, Bird. So again, Aerial and Bird we've already got, but now we got Asgard, so that brings our count up to 4. Then we have Aero, who's Aerial and Agents of Atlas. So now that brings our count up to 5. Well, now at this stage, of course, we are at our ally limit if all those people are out and we have a count of 5. But we have a couple reliable cards that we can do to increase our ally limit. So one of them, of course, is the Triskelion. And the second card was revealed in this article, and it is Flight Squardran. So now we can have an ally limit of 5. The article had 2 more allies that we've seen before, but, more importantly, they've got different traits. So the first one is Adam Warlock, who is Aerial and Mystic. So now the count is 6, and he would be our 4th ally. And the 5th ally, which was in the article, is Cloud9, and she is Aerial and Champion. So now that brings our count up to 7 with 5 allies. Now, if you play multiplayer, you would have to kind of coordinate with the other player a little bit to make sure that they have enough different traits to make it worthwhile. But let's say we're doing a 2-player with Angel. So Angel is Aerial X-Force. So that would bump us up to 8. But it would cost us 4 now instead of 2. But, maybe the Angel player would help pay for it at that point. And if the Angel player has Children of the Atom, then he alone would gain X-Men and X-Factor as well. So that would bump it up to 10. Not to mention if he has any other allies with any other traits, if there's other player counts, items like that, it can get up to 10. So that's pretty good. So that's a look at the new leadership cards that are coming in the Falcon Pack. The Falcon Pack comes out in June 20th, along with the 4th hero that they haven't announced yet. And that hero, I would guess, would be Aggression, because we haven't seen Aggression yet. But I'm really looking forward to this new deck idea, which is tribal / not tribal. So, everyone's Aerial, but then everyone also has at least one other trait to get that combo with Strength and Diversity going. So that's really nice. The downside is you do kind of have to work with another player if it's in multiplayer, because then the card gets gets expensive, and so it may not be worth it in a multiplayer if the person is doing a full tribal deck. If they're not diversifying like you are. So anyways, but teaming up with like Maria could work because she turns all allies into shield. So they would gain, so the shield trait would be 1. And then if they still have their original trait as well. So that could work. Okay. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe and click the notification bell.